Hello and welcome everyone to another market commentary from StashAway. With us, of course, again, our Chief Investment Officer, Freddy Lim.
Hi there.
Hey, Freddy. Lots to talk about, as always. We will have a few updates to give maybe on the virus situation, right? We obviously, the city of Singapore is kind of on lockdown, right? In terms of workers, a lot of people are working from home. They don't really know when to return, right? So it's kind of like impacting life, daily life. So perhaps, a lot of people are feeling a lot more anxious about what does it do to their investments and maybe also to their, retirement plans in that case. So I want to cover that with you. And then obviously there's a lot more election news coming up now, right? It goes month by month. We're getting closer to November. And I think, with the primaries from the Democratic Nomination Committee coming up, I think there's a lot to talk about. But let's start with the virus, because that's really felt home here, right? For all of us, it's impacting us in a certain way, right? In terms of how do you move around? People are always worried about everything. Want to give an update maybe on what it does to markets, because they don't keep. It doesn't.
Before I get into the markets, I would want to share an interesting research, a modeling sort of analysis. It's not done by ourselves, we're not expert in epidemics, but from the scientific community, Bloomberg article also has an expose on that, which is they suspect that the later part of February to be the peak in terms of number of reported cases of infections. And the model is quite non-linear. It accounts for the fact that in the initial phases, official reports tend to be understated, because that's also, it's not an intentional thing. Sometimes it just takes time to get the reports in, and sometimes people don't even realize they have it, right? Yeah. So over time, because of the reporting, the biases in the data, you tend to see an organic rise in the number of infections given enough time. So using a very complex model, they projected that by the end of February, we may even see global number of infections going up as much as to 500,000 cases, and a number of death toll could be expected to be 10,000. So right now we have reported around 1,500.
Yeah, and
globally.
60,000 cases or something like this, right?
And so it's sort of part of it is due to understatement. The other part is that the virus is still spreading, and maybe it's going to slow at some point. But the numbers account for these two factors. So we're going to see the media keep reporting higher numbers. It's the same situation back in the SARS. We would not be surprised by that. So in the physical world, stay safe, clean your hands, disinfect. Now, moving on to the markets.
Markets, and because what I don't know if for everyone who's looked lately at their portfolios, most likely you'll see, markets have been hitting new highs again, right? So portfolios are actually performing across the board quite well, right? What do you make up of that? Why is that the case? What do you think is driving the market to new highs?
Well, firstly, before we even think about the market performance, we should realize that the market is fast-moving voting engine. So it does try to price in right now what some kind of expected damage up front. And so you see that it's more concentrated, the impact on Chinese stock markets, and then to the rest of the region in Asia, Japan, because China has a 35% weighting in the region. So you will see more impact in China, Asia, Japan, and even the Straits Times Index in Singapore, but you will see muted reaction in Europe and Latin America, or even, and especially the US. Yeah. So it goes to show that if you have a very diversified, a globally diversified approach to investing, this risk is not very concentrated. It's diversified away, and henceforth you don't see a lot of impact on.
I think this is why we always preach this, right? Having a diversified globally portfolio is so important for your financial plan, right? Because things like that affect certain areas more than others, right? But if you have a globally diversified, that's why you do it.
Well, what's even better is that you can go beyond diversifying by geography. You can also create more diversification by including different asset types into your portfolio. It could be, you could have income generating assets elsewhere. You could have a bit of a protective assets like gold and bonds from the US and from Europe. Like, there's a lot you can do to sort of further mitigate concentration risk. And that's one of the wonders of modern portfolio theory.
Yes, it is. It is one of the wonders of modern portfolio theory. Okay, well, enough for the virus. I think we all been following this quite a lot, but I think it was really good analysis to actually see and not to be too worried about it, what the market does in this, in these short-term volatile times. U.S. election, next topic, right? We had the first two primaries, Iowa and New Hampshire. Again, even in the not only that we're divided between Republicans and Democrats, but in the Democratic Party, it seems to be also a 50-50 split between more socialism
like
and moderates, right?
We're getting more diversification in terms of the candidates, the types of candidates we're seeing on the Democratic side. If we step back a bit, there were previous concern last year that the Democrat Party has gone very left, very social, with the likes of Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. And so if the Democrat actually win the 2020 election, there's concern that the market may not take it very well. However, that's been changing quite rapidly with very difficult to pronounce names.
Yes.
I think we have Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Yes. He says you can call him Mayor Pete, right? In the
Mayor
videos.
Pete
So, yeah,
Buttigieg, who's won the primaries in Iowa.
Yep.
And Amy Klobuchar, who's won New Hampshire.
Oh no, yes. Oh, she was up there, right?
Yeah, she's up there second.
Bernie
in the
won,
second lead. It was Bernie who won New Hampshire. So it sort of diluted a lot of concern of the markets on the Democrats going left. Yes. Yeah, it's still very early to predict, but this is a very healthy development for the markets.
I totally agree, and I think we're still also way too far out from November, right? That the market really cares about. There's too much noise in the market. He's already happy probably with having that diversity, right? There's more than one. Michael Bloomberg hasn't even entered yet, right? Yes. So he's going to enter next month, and who knows what's going to happen then, right?
Yes, we're getting more business-friendly Democratic candidates, and I guess Trump is not our only choice now. That's market-friendly. I mean, relatively market-friendly, not a trade war. But so I would say this is a good balancing act to have. Again, it goes to show that let's not try to worry or react to sudden things too quickly, too rash. It's always good to have an investment plan that's long-term looking and stick to the plan and average in your monthly savings into the markets, right? That approach remains the best approach for most of us. It reduces the noise to your net worth.
Exactly right, and I think I couldn't have said it any better. Thank you, Freddy, for this. For everyone, we have a few very nice events coming up next week. So on the 19th of February in Singapore, we're actually going to have a webinar. It's called Investing for Women. So if you would like to join that, you can go to our website, StashAway.sg/academy to sign up for that. And then in Malaysia, we're also going to be having a webinar. And it's also going to be on the 19th of February. And it's going to be about how to plan for your retirement. So you learn a lot of strategies where you can optimize your retirement and things like that. So if you want to learn more about, what we've been saying about diversifying and things like that, join any of our webinars, go to our website to sign up for those, and otherwise tune in again for another market commentary shortly. Thank you so much.
Till next week.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified whenever we have new content out for you. Also, don't forget to download the StashAway app. It's available in the Apple App Store as well as the Google Play Store. So you can start on your financial journey right now.